there are people in the shadows that we are forgetting, and we are putting more and more people in the shadows. And while they're in the shadows, we're debating whether or not we should help them. What kind of country is that? That's not a debate. That's not a debate. That's something that's very straightforward and very simple. It is an inauspicious moment for groups like the National Housing Conference.
At this moment and at this point in our history and in our social policy, to have organizations that bring us together under a vision and under a set of common values so that we can think about what the next agenda is going to be and how we can be a part of it. And the National Housing Conference is the most preeminent organization of its kind in the housing field and is incredibly important to all of us to make us feel like we're connected and part of a larger thing.
80 years ago, an impassioned social worker and New York activist named Mary Kingsbury Simkovich founded the National Housing Conference, the first nonpartisan independent coalition of housing leaders from both the private and public sectors. Mary and her colleagues had the vision that we could and should end overcrowded slums by providing decent housing and a renewed sense of community.
The National Housing Conference is somewhat of a unique organization. It's got a broad cross-section of people who participate in it, people on the for-profit side, like the institution I'm representing, Bank of America. It's got non-profits, it's got government folks that are represented here, all of which come together to promote the housing agenda. And that's somewhat unique.
That in America, we're a better place and our economy is stronger with a vibrant housing market.
I think NHC's history and pedigree and the credibility it brings from having been involved in almost every major development in housing and community development policy over the last 80 years brings it a credibility both for its members and to policymakers, and that's an important contribution that NHC can uniquely bring to the policy discussion.
There is an enormous gap between the supply of and the demand for affordable housing in this country. The gap is increasing every day, and people with very low incomes are the most impacted. We are in the midst of massive change in the housing markets, and there's more to come. We need a new approach to closing this gap, one that brings the talent and resources of the public, private, and nonprofit sectors to bear on creating new ways to efficiently finance the preservation and development of affordable housing.
To me, just as Ken said, the key is people, especially involved in policy making and complex issues like housing finance, and so on, need to hear one voice. It would be ideal if we could all sit in the same tent, agree upon what we're going to say and what we believe in.
With the intent, the united voice for housing.